Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Berlin. The first time in Berlin. The audience is much bigger, a good crowd. So thank you all for coming and giving me the opportunity to speak about transformation in media, transformation in broadcasting. And let me start with our big belief. We all believe that there's huge opportunity in almost any business driven by digital global trends. And I'd like to take some time today to tell you what our framework for digital is and also how ProSieben acted in the environment. But obviously, you have to act. If you think you are too big to fail and you don't have to change, you don't have to adapt, then your business might look like this. Randall Park Mall was the biggest shopping mall in 1995, and they forgot to transform, forgot to adapt, and now they're out of business. Obviously, it was also driven by economic crisis, but also of the huge trend of e-commerce, which they have failed to adapt their system, to innovate, and to change their business. Overall, if I look at digital, I see four big waves. It all started with the so-called information internet, the Google of these worlds that brought communication globally at very low transaction costs, followed by e-commerce, bringing a huge assortment, price comparison, transparency, and convenience for every user to get their products online delivered home. Thirdly, the mobile internet, I think, with the huge advantage of personalization, and it's a device that in the end brings you a digital identity. Everybody now can address you personally wherever you are, and it's a huge, huge pool of data. And what's now in the emergence is what we call the industry internet, Industry 4.0, where all sensors, all products in production will be connected, will be communicate together, and will again create a huge pool of data. So in the end, you can see that data is kind of the oil of the last industrial age, and I believe we will see a huge dynamic in information flow driven by data in the future, and that is a big opportunity for all of us if we do the right things and capture our data, because every business has a lot of data, but mostly we are not able to track them, to use them, to utilize them. That's why I think it's a huge opportunity for all of us. And digital leads to huge value creation, and this chart is really incredible. If you just look at the value creation based on market cap over the last 6 years, and only take the GAFA, the four big US companies, Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, they created more market capitalization, twice as much as the whole DAX 30. So it's really a scary business. So our big companies here in Germany, they only create half as much value in 6 years than 4 startups that are not older than 10, 15 years. So and what you also see here, if you are able to create a global platform like this GAFA does, you create huge value. You also see it's a global business. So every local player like us, a TV company, we have to expand our level playing field. We have to look at global opportunities, global markets, because you can't compete with these guys only on a local level. And unfortunately, Europe is lacking behind. So all the DAX 30 companies in the whole Europe, we haven't captured the huge opportunities of digital and created value. And that's a big threat. If you look at the 20 biggest internet companies globally, there's none from Europe. So it's USA and China, and they make the digital innovation, they create the value, because the US guys, they are global, and the Chinese guys have a very large protected market. And that's why it's now time for us as European companies to really act and also participate in this value creation, starting from data and starting from a new framework, how you can use digital to leverage the assets you have to create value. The good thing is, the winners from yesterday are not the winners from the future. What you see here is like the big companies of yesterday, like eBay, Booking.com, iTunes. They have today new startups, they're competing for market shares, but they're also next generation. So the competitive landscape is so dynamic that everybody can participate with a good idea and a global approach to enter these markets. Also, you might think, wow, they're all captured. And what you also see here, how smart some of these incumbents are, like Facebook. They just buy the next generation of market leaders, like Instagram, WhatsApp. And when you all remember when Facebook bought WhatsApp for, I think, 19 billion, everybody said, wow, what's this? It's too much. I think now all telco companies would say, wow, that was cheap, given the SMS traffic they lost. So why don't German or European telcos board WhatsApp to really disrupt their own business and create opportunities? But I think we simply haven't the global approach, the global imagination of value creation like the US companies that then take this outrageous money for companies that might become global platforms. Looking at media and at our biggest trends, these are three. One is mobile. We can reach the customer wherever he is, always on, and most people have their mobile in a range of 70 centimeters the whole day. So it's a huge opportunity to address these people throughout the day. We have data. We started early to collect all data we have because, as I said before, data is the unique key asset you need to be successful in digital. And lastly, which is the biggest challenge for us, that we not anymore compete only with the local strong players like RTL or Bertelsmann or Springer. I think we all compete now against global competitors, like Google, like Facebook, like Amazon. They all enter the markets globally and also Germany. And that's for us in the digital world are the bigger competitors. And that requires on you on board level and leadership level to change your landscape of competition. You don't only have to look for Germany for competitors, you have to look globally. Where are new startups? Where are new innovations that might attack your business? How can you partner with them? How can you partner in Europe to find your competitive edge against these global giants? Because you won't beat them in technology, and you also won't beat them with cash. They have huge of both. You have to find your competitive strength given some local market edges or some assets you have in your core market. That's how we in ProSieben look at our new strategic agenda. I think a very easy matrix. On the lower left side, it's existing business and existing market. Then we look for new business models and for new markets. And obviously, we always start in the enhance button. We just bring TV online. But we are also very aggressive to see how can we disrupt ourselves? How can we use our business model to enter new markets? And how can we even diversify in new markets? Because digital gives us the power to leverage our assets in new markets. To give you a few examples, I think we were very successful and very early to bring TV online. We are a market leader in online video sales. We have the market-leading live streaming app, 7TV. All our assets are online, and we continue to invest to bring our TV experience also on online, on digital, on mobile devices. And we, from the beginning on, were very, very aggressive in disrupt ourselves. When we started Nextdoor, an SVOD player, over 8 years ago, where Netflix was not even there, it was still a DVD rental service, because we know somebody will come. And the more market share we grab to attack ourselves, and the better we understand how competitors can threat us, the better we are prepared versus market entries. And what you see here, even after Netflix entered the market, we are still with Nextdoor, one of the three market-leading players. It's Netflix, it's Amazon, and it's us. And we still have a good competitive position because we entered early, and we have some local competitive edges versus these global players, be it content or be it our huge marketing power we have in TV. New businesses. What we also did, we saw that in the end, in the online world, on YouTube, there happened the same than in TV. There was the emergence of multi-channel networks. Professional companies that create channels on YouTube and attract creators. That's why we moved early and created our own multi-channel network in Germany called Studio71. And after now 18 months, we are the market leader in multi-channel network, where those other players had to acquire for very expensive money these giants. And most importantly for our future is diversification. We enter new markets and new business models by leveraging our strengths. And one of our biggest strengths is that we know how we can operate digitally. We have the money to invest, and we have roughly 1.5 billion in media power, which we can use to help other companies to grow their business. So we see ourselves as a kind of growth partner in entering new e-commerce markets that are locally defendable versus global giants. We did this in travel. Travel is now a 150 million euro business with a nice margin. We now enter beauty, we enter health, and we want to enter new verticals where we always see us as partner. We want to partner with great entrepreneurs, great products, where we deliver cash, digital operator experience, and media power, a kind of combination of a VC, an incubator, and a media investor. And we do this in two business models. One, we buy our own companies with big M&A to create digital clusters like travel, but we also invest minority stakes as a growth partner for entrepreneurs in Germany that want to grow their business. Zalando was the best example where we had a good relationship with the Zamba brothers like 8 years ago when they started Zalando. And really with our media, together with their great product innovation, they now created probably the leading digital asset in Europe. And what we also did is, since we saw Germany is not enough, we copycatted what we do here to Europe. We close partnerships with broadcasters in all other markets, where we have a preferred media agreement. We build our own small teams locally that we now can help companies, be it US companies that want to enter the German market, like with Shopkick or Jawbone, to help them to get access to the European market and to make their business grow and limit their management attention they have, because most of these companies try to focus to the US or in Asia or South America. And we are kind of partner for them to also enter the European market, which we call the importer of choice strategy. Let me conclude with my learnings and how it was good and what is the challenge in our digital transformation. I think the most important one is that we, on the leaders level, were very convinced that we have to go digital. And this is the key. It's easy said that our strategy is there, but we had to convince all our leaders from TV, from sales, that they actively should help to destroy their core business. They have to support our people to be successful and to give us synergies to make us successful. By this, they hurt themselves. And that's a very, very rigid approach for communication, for strategy, to take everybody with us on the road to digital. Secondly, and also most important, is to have your digital unit protected in an own unit. Now, all our digital assets are within Digital Adjacent. It's an own company. We have different cultures. We have different incentive plans. So we try to also compete in the war for talent to give them a nice environment which is kind of protected from corporate complexities. And we welcome mistakes. So we force mistakes, best case only once, because only with mistakes you create an entrepreneurial environment. And challenges, I think the key challenges for us are, how do we compete with global giants? How can we get best talents? It's very difficult to attract, as a corporate, even entrepreneurial, good digital talents to help us to grow our business, because many of them are entrepreneurial, do it themselves, or others from the US and China are difficult to convince to come to Europe. So that's our biggest challenge. Our biggest growth limiting factor is get great people that help us to grow our business. And obviously, as a kind of hygiene factor, we have to be competitive in technology and data at the 80% level to be able to compete with these global incumbents. Thank you very much.